Hey everyone, so today is going to be a nail tutorial video. It's going to be for the pictures you just saw, which is a gorgeous water marbling technique that I've actually done before on my channel, but I wanted to do something a little bit more springy and summer like colors. So that is what this is going to be for, but also the main point of this video is to answer a lot of your frequently asked questions that I had on that other video I did. So I actually get emails all the time asking me like how to do it exactly because it doesn't work out for some of you guys. You have a hard time doing it, and I had a very hard time doing water marbling too when I first started. So I'm going to show you the tutorial on these gorgeous nails. I'll show you them right now. It'll focus. I mixed pastel colors with neon colors, although it's not looking very neon on camera. But I'll put photos and stuff, which you probably already saw. But it's just really, really pretty, and I love the combination a lot. And I think I forgot to actually mention the colors in the tutorial. So I'm going to have tons of photos and a step-by-step guide on my blog, along with all of the polishes. I took photos of all the bottles I used and stuff. So all of that information will be on my blog, and I'll put the link below. Back to my old peppermint swirl tutorial video. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it below. But it was the same technique, and I actually wrote down all of the questions that you guys had. So I'm going to show you the tutorial first right now. That way, if you've never seen water marbling, you will have no idea what I'm talking about when I answer the questions. So I'm going to get into the tutorial, and then I will come back and answer all of the frequently asked questions. And if I don't answer one of your questions, you can definitely leave a question in the comments below, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to answer all of the questions that you guys have asked me. So I hope I answer them all, but I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I will see you after it. Bye. Okay, so after you have your base color done, which I'm using a white color, you want to put tape around your nails. I like to use 3 pieces of tape per each nail, and what I like to do is actually take the end of the tape and make sure it just covers up the cuticle, because when you dip your finger in, it will be completely covered with nail polish. So just cover up the cuticle area. The side piece as close to the finger as you can get it. Wrap it around the back like I have here, because the polish will go onto your skin. I'm going to start taking the polish. Make sure there's a lot on the brush. Make sure it just kind of comes off the brush, and you want to go quickly. And I'm using a lot of colors, so I'm going extra quick. Kind of shake it to get it to come off. And this purple I'm using actually doesn't ring out very well, but that's okay. You just want to keep going and put the colors in between, or inside of each other. And just kind of swirl them together. I know a lot of people who do these designs actually are very, very good at, I lost my train of thought, sorry. Put your finger in. They're very, very good at making patterns and stuff with the nail polish, but I just kind of do whatever. But the reason I'm not editing this part out is because you want to keep your finger under the water until the polish at the very top hardens, and it might take a second. It's still a little, it might take a second, but it will harden, and then you just want to collect it with the toothpick. It's still a little soft, but once it hardens, it kind of collects into like mush, and then you want to take your finger out. So that one looks really cool. I don't really like my middle finger because there's like a bald spot, but yeah, that's pretty much all you do.
And some polishes work better than others. Like the purple one I'm using, obviously doesn't really react that well, but you just want to keep going with it. And you want to redo the nail polish for every single nail. You never want to double dip. Ooh, this one looks really cool. I can already see it from underneath. Okay, so I'm going to show you that. If I start to try and collect the polish right now, it just keeps on.
Toothpick and pull your finger out. That one looks pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. But that is how you do it. You don't really have to wait to take the tape off. Like, I'm going to take mine off right now because I want to do my other hand. And I've had questions about how long should you wait to take the tape off. And by the way, it's kind of messy, so, but I'm going to take a shower after I do this, so hopefully it'll all come off right here. But yeah, you really don't have to take, or wait that long to take the tape off. Can I zoom out? I'm zoomed out. Yeah, so I'm just peeling the tape off. Haven't really let it have time to dry. I just dipped all my nails. And tape off. And then of course I'm going to do my other hand off camera. But yeah, you don't have to like wait for it to dry or anything. I like to get it off right away because the tape is like really wet and the water can kind of get trapped in there. So you just saw me dip all these nails. The tape's still super wet, but just take it off. You're not going to hurt the polish. Pinky. See how much the tape saves, or else you'd have polish all over your finger. Okay. So that is my first hand. The colors are looking super washed out on this camera for some reason, so I'm going to have photos and stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and do this hand now, and then I will be back to show you guys the finished result. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I'm just going to get right into the questions because there's a lot of them. The first thing is water temperature. That's probably the biggest thing you have to consider when doing this. The water can't be too cold and it can't be too hot, or the nail polish won't spread out, or it might sink to the bottom. It's just not going to work. So what I like to do is I will leave either a bottle of water out overnight, or sometimes I'll have like a half drunken whatever water bottle on the counter. I'll just use that. But you definitely want to have it set out and make sure it's perfect water or perfect room temperature. Before you get started, you want to have all of the lids completely unscrewed and ready to go. You want to unscrew all the tops because you want to do this very quickly, and you don't want to do one and then have to go undo the cap to the next polish. You want to have all the lids completely undone and ready to go. So actually I have all the questions written down on my phone that you guys have asked me in my last video, so I'm going to kind of go over all those. First thing was, how long do you keep your fingers in the water? I like to keep my finger in the water like you saw in the tutorial until I will keep it completely submerged in the water until I can get the polish off of the surface of the water. Once I pick all that up, then I will take my finger off of the out of the water. And do you dip your fingers in and then take them right out, or do you wait a minute? So like I just said, you wait a minute until the polish on the surface is able to be removed. Because when you pull your finger out and it's not removed off the surface, that polish still sitting on the surface can get on your nail, and then it doesn't look, it'll like ruin the design. Do you have to make the pattern every time you dip your finger? Yes, you do. I have tried putting two fingers in at once just to save time, but it never comes out right. So you definitely want to redo like the polish and the swirls and everything for every single finger that you do. This is more of a suggestion. Someone said that they actually put Vaseline or lotion around their fingers instead of the tape, but for me the tape, it just works so easy. It doesn't harm the polish. It takes 2 seconds to put the tape on. Well, not 2 seconds. It just takes a couple minutes to put the tape on all of your nails, and it protects it, and it's just what works for me. If you want to try Vaseline or lotion, I think that would be a little bit more messy and probably wouldn't work as efficiently, but it might. I don't know. I just use the tape. So those are different options you can play with. Does this waste a lot of nail polish? No, it doesn't. I have used tons of bottles, done tons of different combinations, and it doesn't waste the nail polish. You're only using a drop, so I don't think it wastes the nail polish at all. Will the tape stick to your skin when you take it off? Does it harm the nail polish? Does it smudge it? No, it doesn't. As you saw in the tutorial, I took it off right away. It doesn't harm the polish at all. There's a certain amount of water you should use. I just like to fill up my little jar to a little bit, about like almost at the top, I guess you could say. But I mean, there's not an exact amount of water, just fill up a small container. When you put your finger in the water, do you put it in the very middle of the swirl? You can put your finger anywhere that you want. I know some people are really particular about where they place their finger. Some people actually get very intricate with the actual swirl design and make really pretty patterns and stuff, but I'm just kind of like whatever about it. If you want the same exact kind of like swirl or pattern on each finger, then you want to make the same exact picture in the polish with your toothpick and place each finger directly like in at the same exact angle. But I actually like the idea of having like every finger be like completely different and stuff, so I just kind of do whatever. Is it okay to use a large dish or container, and can you dip a couple nails in at the same time? So I definitely recommend using a small container with a smaller opening, because I actually, when I first started, I used like a large, like almost like a bowl, but the polish will spread out too much. So you want to use something with as small as like an opening as possible. That way the polish doesn't have a huge amount of area to spread, because then it gets thinner and thinner. Also, you want to use you can use plastic, paper, glass, but whatever you use, it's going to get ruined from the polish. So make sure whatever you're using, you don't mind if like there's polish on it. And I just kind of ruined one little Tupperware thing like you saw in the tutorial, and I use it every single time that I do water marbling. Someone said, how long does it take? Because it seems like it takes forever. It only takes about 15 minutes for me. I like to do it very quickly. I know some people will actually double dip or triple dip each finger, which means they'll do the design, dip the finger, do another design, dip the same finger, and you get a cool effect, but I just don't have the patience for that. You have to use OPI and China Glaze. No, you don't. Like you saw in the tutorial, the purple berry M I used didn't spread out, but you just gotta keep going with it. Some polishes work better than the others, not by brand, just by the actual polish, so you just kind of have to play with it. Some polishes just work better than the other, but there's no like certain brand that works better than the other that I found. When I asked if this ruins your nail polish, it doesn't ruin your nail polish at all because you're not actually putting the brush in the water at all. You're actually letting the polish drip off the brush. So you don't actually want to have the brush touch the water. You want to kind of hold it very closely to the water and let it drip off. And I actually made this mistake doing this tutorial. I was holding on a couple of the times. There was so much polish on the brush and I didn't get the brush down to the water close in time, and the drop of polish dropped off when I had the brush like a high amount away from the water, and since it was so high up, it kind of like hit the water hard and went straight to the bottom, so it didn't sit at the surface and spread out. So you want to make sure that the brush is kind of close to the very top of the water, then let the polish drip off of the brush. So if you hold it too high, it could sink straight to the bottom. To use different colors, do I have to use a white base? And that answer is absolutely no. I just like to use a white base because I feel like it's a good platform. Yeah, you can use any color base that you want to use. It doesn't matter at all. You can also use, you can use any color at all. You can use a black base if you're using lighter colors. You can use purple base, red, but any color base. There's no rules at all how many colors you can use. You can use as many colors as you want. You can use 2 colors, 10 colors. It just takes a lot longer. Also, a big thing about the base, I learned this the hard way. I was always only doing 1 coat of the white or whatever color my base was. I would only do 1 coat of it because I figured it was getting covered up by the marble art anyway. But then I found that the marble art that you're dipping your fingers in, it's so thin because if you think about it, it's spread over on the top of the water, so it's a very thin layer of polish. And then that on top of just my 1 base coat polish was very thin, and when my polish is too thin, it chips a lot easily. It chips more easily. So always do a 2-coat base. Do 2 coats and then dip all of your nails because then it's going to be thicker. It's not going to chip as easily. Someone said they tried it, but when they went to swirl with their toothpick, it was stuck. That means you're just going too slowly. You want to try and do it very quickly and then swirl it around quickly, because when it starts to kind of get hard, that may also mean that the water is too cold. Make sure you have perfect room temperature and go very quickly. Said that their polish either sinks to the bottom or it doesn't spread out at all. So when it sinks to the bottom, it may be being dropped from the brush at too high of a point, because then it's too hard and it breaks through the surface of the water. If it doesn't spread out, it might be the water temperature. Also, some polishes just spread out a lot easily than other polishes. Someone said, is a base coat necessary? What would happen if you don't use one? I've always used a base coat. Every tutorial I've ever seen, everyone uses a base coat, so I have no idea what would happen if you didn't use one because I've never not used one. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can try if you want. Let me know. That was all of the questions I got on my last video. The main things are to have all of your polishes, the caps unscrewed so you're ready to go fast, have your toothpick ready, and then just dip your finger. The tape comes off super easily, doesn't hurt the polish at all. I don't even wait. I'll dip all of my fingers on one hand, and I will immediately take the tape off of all of the fingers. I don't really give it like a drying time. Then I'll put tape on my opposite hand and dip all those fingers, and then I'll take the tape off. And then you will have polish like on the backs of your fingers a little bit and in between, but I actually took a shower immediately after I did this, so I kind of just got it all out in the shower. But if I don't take a shower, I will take like a nail art corrector pen, like the nail polish removing pens, and I'll just kind of go over it like that. But I think this is a very unique design. So pretty. And I love water marbling art. So I hope this answered all of your water marble art, nail art tutorials. That was really long to say. I hope it answered all of your questions. If by chance you have another question that I didn't answer, then leave it in the comments below, and then over time I will put the top rated questions and my answers in the description box, so if someone happens to watch this video 6 months from now, they can check the description box. But I think I answered all of the questions that most of you guys had, so I hope you try out a water marble art tutorial. If you do, definitely send me a photo. I would love to see what color combination you choose or you do. If you happen to have a video on your channel of water marbling nail art, then leave it as a video response, or any nail art tutorial. Anything to do with nails, you can leave a video response. And if you try this out, then definitely leave a photo on my Facebook, or you can tweet me a photo, or you can email me a photo. I just want to see what color combination you come up with. So there's no set amount of colors you have to choose or use. And definitely do this like on a weekend or when you have enough time to really dedicate it to, you know, do this because you don't want to rush through it and stuff because you'll just get frustrated. And do it like sitting at a desk or sitting at the kitchen table so it's all like nice and you have a good area, and put a towel down or a paper towel down underneath you because it does get a little wet and messy. But I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and you try something similar out. So I will talk to you guys very, very shortly. Don't forget to check my blog for photos and step-by-step instructions. So if you want to do this and you don't want to rewatch this whole video, I will have like a step-by-step photos on my blog along with photos and the polishes that I use because I totally forgot to mention them in the tutorial. But yeah, so check out my blog and my Facebook and Twitter, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye guys.